What I would like for us to do, and I know that this is super awkward and weird, and I've never really done this before, but I just wanted to reach out to you guys and let you know that, like, we're gonna be okay. This is all right. And just because we're not in our class, that doesn't mean that learning stops. And we can still push through this. And yes, this is weird times, and there's a lot going on that we don't know what's happening, and things are kind of unpredictable and they're changing every single day. But let me just tell you some things I know about Mustangs. Mustangs are resilient, and no matter what happens or how it happens, we will persevere through this. And what I want you guys to all feel is just that, it's not going to stop. Like, we're going to keep going, and we're going to learn even more as a result of this and come out brighter and stronger and even more connected. So, reach out to each other, help each other out. If things get stressful and you don't know what to do, just take a deep breath and think about what you've learned and what you've been through and how much we have already written. This is our 5th full process essay. So it's not like you're going into this blind. You know what to do. You've been taught what to do. So now you just have to use those resources that I've given to you and maybe be a little bit more independent than you're ready, but it's only going to help you, okay? And in the long run, don't ever forget that I'm always here for you. I'm just a text message away, an Instagram message away, or an email away. I am here to help you. The last thing I want for you is to be stressed about this. So I'm hoping that this helps you and that it eases your mind and your worries, and just reach out to each other. If you don't know exactly what to do, don't hesitate to post the question on here, and I'll do my best to answer that question. And we're gonna push through this, okay? So it is what it is, and I just know that, like, I am not gonna let my fear get in the way of my faith. And I am going to become stronger because of this, and we are here for each other, right? Community, we always talk about that in room 370, that community is what is most important, and that, we're gonna do this. And when we come back, we're gonna give each other the biggest hugs, and we're gonna have the biggest celebration because we have gotten through this. And for us, this is gonna be something that we will mark in our minds for the rest of our lives. We're gonna be like, do you remember when it was the coronavirus? And so, this is historical, and you are living in the midst of it. And how you come out on the other end of it is going to be something that will be marked in your mind. All right? So, with saying that, let's go ahead and take out, I wanted to start with the poem, Terrence, This Is Stupid Stuff. Did you read this on Friday? I know I wasn't here on Friday. I was actually pretty sick, but it's not the coronavirus. Don't worry. It's just a cold. But anyways, would you all kind of take that out and let's talk about it? It's kind of weird to have a one-sided conversation with myself. But I want you guys to have that in front of you. And I just kind of want to go over a few ideas of Terrence, This Is Stupid Stuff by A.E. Housman. And what I would like for you to do today for your homework is to finish working on the soapstone for Terrence, This Is Stupid Stuff. I'm hoping that you got through the questions on Friday and then that you have started working on the soapstone. So maybe there's just a few things that I can go over that would help you understand what this is about. Okay, so first of all, I usually ask my students, like, where does the story take place? And it's really important to understand that it takes place in a bar, and they're drinking beer in this bar. So right away, we should get an indication of the social status of these people who are drinking. So typically speaking, during this time period when this was written in the 1800s, the people that would have been sitting in the bars would have been like the working class, lower class, maybe middle class as well. And we know that because the upper class, they would have been drinking wine. And so this whole idea is a little bit kind of like intoxicating, and that Terrence himself is not exactly within his right mind, and that he is in this other world where he's listening to all these people talk, and he's trying to make sense of it, and he can't quite do it, okay? So there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you, and they're in the first stanza, and this doesn't happen very often, there's a synecdoche. Did you guys find the synecdoche? Any takers on that? Anybody want to like give a shout out on what line they think the synecdoche is existing, where it is? In the first stanza? This is the pleasant teacher wait time. You're all there, right? Okay, so the synecdoche is in line 7, and it says, the cow, the old cow, she is dead. So, and then it says, it sleeps well, the horned head. All right, that is the synecdoche. Thanks for those of you. Matthew Mancini, you're awesome. Salty Bean, I don't know who you are, but I appreciate the attempt there. So it's actually line 7. And then we also have a little bit of alliteration there at the end of the first stanza where it says moping, melancholy, mad. So if any of you are looking for something else to put in that extra section of your soapstone, you can definitely do that. But the biggest part of the first stanza is that it pokes fun at poets and their tendency for repetition. And it's also really like mocking poets and saying like, you think poetry is better than beer? You're crazy. And so they're talking about how like ale is more suitable than poetry and that it brings you more comfort than poetry. But then the naysayers in the rest of the poem are basically like, hey, wait a minute. At some point, you're going to come back to your senses and you're not going to be numb anymore like what the beer or the ale does to you. And then you're going to have to face reality. And then when you face reality, it's going to be poetry that saves your life. And so that to me speaks so much volumes, especially in this situation right now, right? Like we watch the news and we hear what's going on and it's like a little bit numbing and it gets kind of scary. And then we have this idea of like, okay, wait, when we get on the other side of this reality, what's going to bring us comfort? So maybe poetry would bring you comfort during this time. And so they start talking about kind of the second stanza is the poet's response. So first stanza is like the beer drinkers, like, you guys are stupid, and beer is way better than poetry. And then the second stanza is more like, wait a minute, poetry is beautiful, and poetry is going to heal your heart, and poetry is going to make things better for you. And if you don't think so, then we're going to jump on into the third stanza. So the third stanza is the justification that this is going to be okay. And if you look at, 46, 47, line 48, I believe, it says, I'd face it as a wise man would and train for ill and not for good. Basically what he's saying is like, forget the beer, forget everything else that's going on. Like, I am going to face this with my whole heart, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to watch, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to understand that poetry is going to answer that for me. And so I love at the very last part of that third stanza when it says, when your soul is my soul's stead, and I will friend you, if I may, in the dark and cloudy day. What that's saying is poetry is going to be your friend. And in these times of dark and these times of scariness, that poetry can be the answer for you. And whether it is something that you read that you enjoy yourself, or maybe it's song lyrics, which is also poetry, or even the Bible, any of those things that are like Psalms, or just things that have that literary device, it's going to have that next level of meaning. Okay, so don't feel like you have that surface level and that you just have to take things for what they are. Don't hesitate to dig deeper and to look at who is the speaker, what is the occasion, what are these other things, like what's the author's purpose, and are there any devices in there that are really speaking to you? Okay, so don't hesitate to think of that. And then lastly, the fourth stanza. This is where it kind of gets a little bit weird, which, it's not unusual for poetry to get weird, but it's a historical allusion. And so they're talking about this other time that it was the king and he eats bad meat, okay? And so basically it's kind of like, this is really cool. This part is amazing. But what he's basically saying is like, if he keeps hearing sad poetry, he's just gonna die. Like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And so he doesn't really know how to like handle that and what to do with it. And so he decides that it's better for him to hear all of this sadness, because it's almost like it's verbal immunization, okay? Whoa, that just blew my mind that I just came up with that right now. Verbal immunization, okay? So it's kind of like it's a shot in his arm, like a flu shot of bad poetry, and that numbs him and that he gets used to it. So even, you know, I hate to keep bringing it up, but like, look at how when things first came out about the coronavirus and we're like, that's never going to happen to us. No, that doesn't apply. It's not going to happen here. That's just over there. And then suddenly it kind of like creeps its way into here. And now it's 24-hour news coverage all the time. And we just keep hearing about it. And think about where we were a week ago and how that affected us. And now where we are now, that in a way is like verbal immunization. So what he's saying is like this bad poetry is just going to keep affecting him, and that he's not gonna like change as a result of it. So he's just gonna keep, you know, hearing the tale, and that poison is no longer going to hurt him. And so again, it comes back to resilience. It comes back to rising above, and that poetry is the answer when we have all these situations. So that pretty much covers everything for Terrence. This is stupid stuff. So does anybody have any questions? I know that was kind of a lot to handle, but I hope that helps you when it comes time to fill out your soapstone. So I'll wait a second. Oh, what is the meaning of the title? Thanks, Tommy. That is a great question. So I just think like it's two guys sitting in a bar talking and drinking at the same time, and he's like, dude, Terrence, this poetry stuff, this is stupid stuff. And then this is Terrence saying like, wait, no, it's not. This is not stupid stuff. This is everything. This is the answer. This is what's going to help us. This is what is going to heal us. What Tommy said. Yeah. Did that make sense, you guys? Did that help you answer your question? Oh, cute. You guys are all saying hi to each other. Hi, Wyatt. Hi, Jack. Hi, Ryan. What is the audience and where is the evidence? Okay, good question. So who would be the audience in this? So you could just say like all people, because it really does affect everybody. It's not something that is just exclusive to a certain group. It could also be something that you say like, you know, people who would be in that bar setting. So you could say middle class, lower class people, maybe people that wouldn't necessarily have the education that some of the other people had during that time period. But it definitely is something that, you know, could be versatile and reach out to all people. And like I said, look at, we're reading this was written in 1859, and here we are in 2020, and finding exact, you know, application. And look at how it applies to us right now. It's so beautiful. Okay, good. The tone. So remember, the tone is the attitude of the poem. So I would say that the attitude of this poem is shifting, right? I definitely think that it kind of has this pessimistic tone in the beginning, but that it definitely shifts and moves into more positive, and it moves into a more peaceful resolution, and that it's something that, you know, brings peace when it's all done, especially after the king's illusion. I think that really gives us that verbal immunization idea. So the speaker is Terrence, it really doesn't have to be Terrence, but it could be anybody. So the speaker is definitely the narrator of the poem. Hi, Mrs. Ward. Thanks for tuning in. You could definitely say adults, because Nora, that's good because of the idea that there is drinking involved. But again, I think that this is something that anybody could listen to. Depressed and jubilant. I don't know that I would say jubilant, because jubilant's pretty like woo, like party time. I think it's more like peaceful and finding answers. Hi, Toring. Hi, Tyler. All right. Any more questions? This is kind of my last call before I'll move into the essay. You guys are doing great. I'm so proud of you. Hey, Mr. Buchanan, thanks for tuning in. So I'm like not supposed to be here at school. I had to like totally sneak in. I'm such a rebel. And then I bring my whole family with me and everything too. So, all right, we are about to, so just a reminder, you do have to finish the Terrence This Is Stupid Stuff, soapstone and questions, okay? And then now we are going to be moving into the essay, which will also be your homework. The relationship between the two people, you know, in a bar, you guys don't know this, but they're probably just like beer drinking buddies. And that doesn't mean that they have to necessarily be friends. They could just be two guys that go in after work every single day and that they just kind of hang out. So I think that that's really their relationship and connection. Alliteration in line 75. Yes, I have that one written down too. And personification in line 45. Yes, there's a ton. I didn't go over every single literary device that is jam-packed in this. I just wanted to kind of highlight the main ideas of everything. Okay? All right, so I'm not seeing any more questions. So what I'm going to do is move on into the essay. So I'm hoping that you all still have out your packets. So I have this portion right here, right? You all with me? So a lot of you are asking about like, when is this due? So I'm going to give you guys 2 weeks to do this. So the full 2 weeks that we're going to be out, I am going to have you turn everything into Google Classroom. And if you finish beforehand, you can turn it into Google Classroom before that. I haven't, like, Google Classroom is set up, but I don't have a folder for you. So as soon as I'm done with this and I go home, I'll set it up on Google Classroom so that you guys can turn everything in. And you'll have 2 weeks to do it. And I'll be grading your essays. And if you are struggling, I'll give it back to you and you're gonna rewrite it until it's at a 90% level, okay? So none of this is going to hurt you. It's only going to help you, and it's just gonna keep you working on your skills during this time, okay? So are we ready to move on to the essay? And by the way, that due date is March 30th. So by March 30th, you will need to turn in the soapstone for Terrence, This Is Stupid Stuff, and then also the essay. So definitely doable, right? Like, you guys can write 4 paragraphs in 2 weeks. So you're gonna be good. Okay, so are we ready to talk about the song for Music as Poetry? So this is one of my favorite essays that you guys all get to do, and I think you're really gonna like it. One of the reasons why I like it so much is because you get to pick out the song. And I think that music is something that's really personal and something that, you know, can help you and get you through some of these things that are a little bit challenging. It can sometimes, you know, when you're really happy, you have a certain song that you like to listen to. Like for me, when I'm in my like kick butt mood and I'm ready to like attack the day, it's Pink, Raise Your Glass. Like, I love that song. If I want to have like a reminiscing moment where I think of my family, it's Neil Diamond and Sweet Caroline. Like, there's just something about that song that just brings tears to my eyes. I love that song. And the same thing with Sweet Home Alabama. But if I'm having like a moment where I just want to like, I just want to cry, and it's okay to do that sometimes, right? Like, you just want to have those moments where you just like take in all the emotion, then that song for me is Could I Have This Dance by Anne Marie, which, you know, you don't even have to know why. It's just, it's personal to me and it means something to me. So I want you to pick a song that means something to you, okay? Now there's a little bit of a trick to this. You really just can't pick any song. You really need to look at the lyrics and make sure that the song has literary devices in it. If it doesn't have literary devices in it, then it's going to be very challenging for you to write this song. So, write this essay. So pick something that means something to you and that also has enough literary devices in it to talk about. So just for example, like, I've read hundreds of essays about Katy Perry, Baby You're a Firework, right? So don't choose that song, choose something else. But anyways, choose something that is going to be, first of all, school appropriate. I love how you guys are all doing Sweet Caroline. You guys are adorable. Yes, the song can totally be in a different language, but you will need to translate it into English so that I understand the lyrics of the song. So you may lose some of the meaning of the song, but just make sure that you write that in your song or in your essay so that I understand it. And you'll have to like bridge that translation in there, okay? But no profanity, so no bad words like the B word, the F word, the SH word. I will excuse the D word, like, you know which word that is. And HE double hockey sticks, that one can be in the lyrics, but just be really careful. And of course, you could completely remove those words from the song lyrics and then it would be okay. But the idea is, if you're not sure if it would be okay, use a song that could be played over the loudspeaker with Mr. Flynn putting it on for all students to hear. That's your guide, okay? That's your measure. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fill out a soapstone for the song, okay? So you have this paper right here, and that is attached to your packet, and you need to fill this out for your song. You need to do this before anything because this is going to tell you if you have enough information to complete your essay. If you don't, like if you can't fill this out, then you're gonna struggle to write the essay. So make sure that you have enough information and that everything is on here for you to be able to fill out, okay? All right, then after you do that, you need to take your lyrics and you need to annotate them. So just like we've been doing with the poem, right? You see this right here? So you need to label everything, everything. Oh gosh, Tanner Palmer, what are you saying? Mrs. Shea explaining which swears are okay. And best thing ever, I've seen a lot. Oh, I love you, Tanner. Tanner like goes way, way back. That's like ages ago. You're like a married man. You're a dad now. So good to see you, friend. All right. So anyways, yes, you should print the lyrics and you need to put the lyrics right, or the annotations right on that page. Sometimes they're gonna go over 2 pages, but do what I did. You see how I like put them in columns like that? Try and do that if you can. But yes, you should print the lyrics and then you should like actually handwrite on them so that you can see what it is that you're doing, okay? And then label everything. So you wanna label theme, you wanna label literary devices, you want to label like who is the speaker, everything that is in your poetry packet, you want to pack it full. You don't need to keep doing the chorus over and over again. Once you've done it once, then everything's going to be fine, okay? So then once you have the song lyrics labeled and you have your soapstone all filled out, then you are going to go to the actual essay, okay? So we're gonna shift gears a little bit. Okay, so Ben, come over here. Ben's gonna help me out now. Moving around in the room. So I wrote all this, and this is all on the website too, okay? So don't freak out right now, and this is all, like you guys know all this. Remember, if you don't know, think of every essay that you've written in the class and just remember what we've done, okay? So we're starting off with the introduction. So you're gonna grab the attention of the reader. This could be done by using a song lyric from the actual song that you're doing, or don't hesitate to use a quote, okay? Then I want you to kind of introduce the song. Remember, just because the person sings the song doesn't necessarily mean that they wrote the song. So keep in mind that you should also write down the author of the song because they're the ones that are really the speakers, right? Not the singers. And then briefly summarize what's happening in the song. Kind of give us the title, author, genre, and summary of the song. Is it a love song? Is it a rock song? Is it a rap song? Kind of put it all in perspective about what is happening and why the singer is singing this song, all right? Then you're going to state your thesis. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but not really. You guys can do this. Guess what it deals with? The theme. Wow, shocker. I know we've never talked about theme all year, so I know you're gonna struggle. You guys know this. This is like the back of your hand right now, okay? You know theme. So what I want you to tell me is how do the literary devices reveal the theme? So what you need to do is you need to go back and look at your poem, look at the song lyrics, look at your soapstone, and you need to decide what 2 literary devices really make an impact on the song. So even though it's flooded with all of these literary devices, I want you to pick 2. Is it the similes? Is it the metaphors? Is it the oxymorons? Is it the repetition? Is it the beat? Is it like the A, B? What gives this song its drive? What makes this song speak to you, okay? So that is for the introduction, all right? Then body paragraphs. You have your topic sentence about your first bucket. Then you're going to explain the first example, again, kind of setting it up. What happens? Then you have your blended quote. This is your actual textual evidence. Now remember, in this particular instance, you're going to put parentheses and you're going to put the line number where you can find that lyric, okay? So that's your blended quote, is the lyric of what it sings, and then you put the line number afterwards. If it's something like repetition and you want to put several lines, you would put parentheses, line 4, 7, 9, and 12 if it's something that happens habitually. All right, then you're going to explain how the textual evidence supports the thesis, and you're going to analyze it. So again, remember, 2 to 3 sentences, just like I told you last time. You're explaining how the literary device supports the theme. Remember, it all comes back to theme. So you have to tell me what the theme of the song is. All right, so make sure that you have that set up in your introduction. And then you have to do your second example. So make sure that you transition into that second example, set up your quote, say what's happening in the scene. Then you do your blended quote again, explain how the textual evidence supports the thesis. You analyze the 2 to 3 sentences, and then you wrap up and summarize both examples and bring it back to the thesis. Remember, you're bringing it back to how do the literary devices reveal the theme. Every single body paragraph should finish with this particular literary device explains the theme of, and then what is that, okay? All right, then I'm gonna jump to conclusion. So you can use the strategy that we've been doing about doing a quick write about music as poetry and how it impacts your life and also explains the theme of the song. Or you can restate the hook, restate the thesis, summarize the main points, and finish with one strong statement. Okay, and don't worry, I'll take a picture of this and I'll post it to my Google Classroom. I'll also post it to my website so that you guys can see this at any time. It's actually already on the website, so you can go there right now and see it. Okay, so I guess, does anybody have any questions? Any questions? All right, so I wanted to, do we have to turn in written up lyrics as well? Yes, you will have to. I'm guessing that you'll either scan it or you can take a picture and attach it to your essay, but I will need the lyrics marked up. I'll also need the completed soapstone and the essay. And yes, you're just gonna turn in the final draft. I don't need a rough draft for this. And I actually, you know, with your rough drafts, I'm mostly just checking to see that you did it. It's not, yes, one, so you're picking a total of 2 buckets. And so each literary device would be a bucket, and you talk about one literary device in body paragraph 1 and then one literary device in body paragraph 2. Literary devices include all on the list, right? Yes, anything that's on that list is fair game to be a literary device for your essay. If we can't put our name on the lyrics, do we just put it on the essay? If we can't put our name on the lyrics, I don't understand what that means. I'm confused by that. If we can't put our name on the lyrics, do we just put it on the essay? I don't know what that means. Every lyric needs to have some kind of label to it. You have 2 examples for each body paragraph. It's not what the literary device means to you. It's how does the literary device reveal the theme. Okay, Ryan? So what is the theme of your song is what you have to first figure out. And then you have to explain what literary devices explain the theme. So you really have to kind of think it's like 2 layers to this essay. So first you have the theme, and then what are the literary devices that explain the theme? Don't do 2 different themes, Haley, just do one theme because that would be a bigger essay. So 4 paragraphs. I know in the directions, I think it says 5 paragraphs, but just do 4 paragraphs. So you have your introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and then your conclusion. And you introduce the theme in your introduction where it says, introduce your song and briefly summarize. All right. Do you guys see my example? It's on the back right there. I think that how about I read it? I know it's a lot, and if you feel like you are good and you know what you're doing, then you can sign off. But I'm going to read it because I think it will help explain a lot of these things for you, and it'll help you see the connection to it. Okay. So it's called The Indelible Mark of Love. And this goes with the song Strawberry Wine that I analyzed, which was my favorite song in college. I told you music is something that, speaks to all of us. So this was a college song for me. And so I decided to write this about it. Okay. Francois Mauriac once said, "No love, no friendship can cross the path of our destiny without leaving some mark on it forever." This idea of love being a powerful and unforgettable force in one's life is prevalent in the song Strawberry Wine by Matraka Maria Berg and Gary Stefan Harrison. Specifically, the song speaker, a woman reflecting on her first love, wonders and questions the power that love still has over her, even though it has long since passed. Through the use of diction, imagery, and tone, the theme that first loves are somehow forever with someone becomes clear. So right there, I tell you what are the three, but you only have to do two, and then I also give you the theme statement. First is through the diction that the theme is revealed. Namely, the use of oxymoron bittersweet shows just how confusing first loves can be. Lines 9, 20, and 30. First loves are confusing in that there is so much about them that can be amazing and wonderful and sweet, but also so much potential for heartache and bitterness if they do not turn into a lasting love. Oxymorons, by their very definition, show confusion because they are two contrasting words put together as one. It is due to this confusion about her first taste of love that the speaker cannot stop thinking about it in lines 9, 20, and 30. The use of an oxymoron can also symbolize the idea of two contrasting people, a guy working through college and a girl thirsting for knowledge, coming together in a relationship with one another, lines 1 and 2. In addition to oxymorons revealing the theme, so does the phrase, "Funny how those memories they last," line 6. In this thought, the speaker is acknowledging that the love has passed, but it is still a part of her due to the memories never fading completely. The use of the word funny is slightly ironic because it is not really funny at all. Although reflecting on her first relationship at 17, the speaker is most likely 30 and can be seen by the comment, "I still remember when 30 was old." And she's surprised more than amused by the fact that she is still missing her first relationship that technically ended many years before. Therefore, it is through the diction of oxymorons and ironic words and phrases that the theme of first loves being somewhat everlasting is expressed. So again, look how I wrapped it all up and made sure that I was talking about the theme and the literary devices before I move on to my next paragraph. All right. Second, imagery created through repeated figurative language also reveals the song's theme. The metaphor in line 5 is the first example. The well-beaten path shows that the speaker is not alone in their obsessive thoughts about first loves, because many people have been in love or traveled down that same path, and that is why it is well-beaten. Furthermore, the smile that gets repeated in lines 6 and 7, 9 through 12, 20 and 22, and 30 and 32 shows just how powerful first loves can be and that they cannot be forgotten. The speaker says both her first taste of love and her memories of that first love are like strawberry wine, because they are both green on the vine and bittersweet. This brings forth the visual image of new fruit still green. In terms of farming, it is exciting because green fruit is a sign of plentiful harvest to come, much like how first relationships carry all the excitement and promise of years of happiness and being in love. First relationships are like strawberry wine then, because this fermented drink is extremely sweet and enjoyable. The addition of the bitter part is the extended simile, and that the simile in line 15 is what relates to the theme. This is because if first relationships do not truly last forever and the individuals drift away like leaves in the fall, the memories of first loves, lost loves, never quite goes away. Third, the questioning tone and overall preoccupation the speaker has with her first love shows just how much weight first relationships carry with people. The speaker keeps coming back to the place of her first love, either by physically going back to her grandpa's farm or merely revisiting it through her thoughts. Either way, she wants to remember the taste or how it felt to first be in love. Probably because, like with many firsts, it can never really be repeated. These examples show her preoccupation, while the rhetorical question, is it really him or the loss of my innocence I've been missing so much? In lines 26 to 27 adds the questioning tone of the whole song. The speaker is not sure if she really misses her first love, the guy, or if she misses the feeling of being in love for the first time and the pure innocence that is never quite there in the same way in a second or third or more relationship. First loves have added meaning and therefore carry added importance even if they do not last forever. Marioch said it concisely that no love, no friendship can cross the path of our destiny without leaving some mark on it forever. But Berg and Harrison drive the point home in Strawberry Wine. Through their use of diction, revealing the confusing aspects of first love, imagery, revealing the exciting sweetness of first love, and tone, revealing the preoccupation one has with their first love, the theme becomes apparent, namely that the feelings associated with first loves are hard, if not impossible, to ever forget. In other words, the memory of first love leaves an indelible mark on one's past. So I hope that kind of helped clarify some things for you. Again, just keep in mind, you have to know your theme. You need to have 2 strong literary devices. Don't have more than 2, just have 2, because those 2 are going to be what carry your essay for you. And remember, all the rules apply. So no first and second person, no contractions. Make sure you're speaking in present tense, because they're going to be people who are just listening to this song for the first time. And also just, be you, like let your voice be heard about, why this song is important to you without using the words I, me, my, you, or your. Okay. So again, this is due on March 30th and it's on my website. So if you have any initial questions, maybe go to the website first and check it out and see if those questions are answered. Ask each other and see if you guys can help each other. And of course, you can always ask me. And if you guys want, I can do another Instagram live and just have you ask me questions and I can answer them if that's helpful to you. I don't want to be annoying, but I just want you to know that I am here for you and this is all going to be okay. All right. So real fast, I'll just ask, does anybody have any other questions before I sign off? Shelby, it's good to see you. Hi, Deetra. It's so fun to see my students from like so long ago tuning in. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate the 73 of you hanging in here for this like the last part. No rough draft is going to be due, Rylan. It's just the final draft. Final draft is due on the 30th. But if you guys amongst yourselves want to exchange with each other and proofread like we've done in class, by all means, that's totally up to you to do that. But just a final draft is due. All right, any other questions? Last call. You guys were great. We covered so much stuff. I'm so proud of all of you, and I really appreciate you listening, and thanks again. And just, continue to think about no vocab nor. Don't worry about just what I've given you. But you should be studying the poetry vocabulary packet. The rhyme scheme of the poem. Anna, are you talking about Terrence, This Is Stupid Stuff? So again, your only homework for the week is to finish Terrence, This Is Stupid Stuff, Soapstone, and the 4-paragraph essay, and then also continuing to study for your poetry vocabulary test. And then let's see, Anna, there is no rhyme scheme. There is no rhyme scheme for Terrence, This Is Stupid Stuff. So it's unrhymed. There will be a poetry test when we come back, not like the day we come back. I'll probably, like when we come back, give you guys a little bit more time. I'm not cruel like that, but you should be constantly studying it and being ready. I don't know if it will only be 2 weeks. It sounds like to me it might be a little bit more. So we'll just wait and see when we come back where we are and what's happening. So again, I don't know when the poetry vocab test is. That's going to be kind of like to be determined, but that's why you should still be studying your poetry vocab. So anyways, as I was saying, just hang tight. Don't let this be stressful to you. Just, work on it when you can. If there are extenuating circumstances at home, please just let me know. I am not heartless and cold. I want to be, a part of this experience with you. And so if you have any questions and you want to reach out, please do. I'm here for you. If you need me to talk to you on the phone, I'll be more than happy to do that. Just, send me either an Instagram message or an email, or whatever works for you, and just let me know that you would like to talk, and I would be really helpful to do that for you. Whatever you guys need. Like, I'm just sitting at home watching Disney Plus, so I'll be happy to help you. So anything that you need, I can do that for you. Ellie, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it. I want this to be helpful. Like I said, I don't want to be annoying, but I want you guys to feel like there's a community still here and a community behind you, supporting you and rallying for you. So I appreciate you guys saying that. That's so, so sweet. So you guys are my heartbeat, right? Like, you are what keep me going and functioning. So this is hard for me not to look at. I even came here when I'm not supposed to be here. I'll probably get in trouble for doing this, but it's worth it to me, right? Like, it's worth it to me to make sure that you are being helped and that you feel confident in what you're doing and that you know what you're doing. All right. So with that, love you guys too. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are the best. I miss you immensely. I look at this empty room. Look, I'll kind of show you so that you can see. And this is like me being really mad at the coronavirus, because empty desks mean like that no students are here, but that's why I'm like not gonna let this get through. Okay, this is like, we are gonna work around this the best way that we can, and we will show the coronavirus that we will beat it, because we've got our own thing going here and it's a good thing and we've got good momentum, and I just want to keep going. So thanks, you guys. And everybody, please stay healthy. There's a reason for the quarantine. So I saw some of you are having slumber parties and having like a great time. Shut it down. Like, stay in your homes and stay healthy so that we can get through this faster, and just get through this so that we can return back to school and be together again. That's my goal. I just want us to be together again. All right, so go Mustangs, peace out. And yep, Mustangs are greater than the coronavirus. I love it, Ellie, I love it. All right, Cheesy, I love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye.